I'll try to keep it fairly short, but at the same time, I want this to be really comprehensive and frankly, above all, discourage you from getting a German Shepherd. Do you see what you're getting yourself into? This isn't even brushing. This is just my hand. Are you sure about this? You need to rethink your life decisions. This is nothing. This is literally nothing. I did this with my hand. This is nothing. If this freaks you out, life's not gonna be good. What? What are you doing? Look, a skunky? Yeah, that's what you do. You distract Lotus with a toy. Well, thank you. I'm good though. No, I'm good. I don't need antler. I use toothbrush. That's squirrely? Oh my goodness, wow, we need brushy. Yeah, we need brushy. Gonna do brushy? Okay. What about you, pup? Say hi. Say hi. Say hey there, pup enthusiasts. This is Lotus. Yeah, we know, you just talk. We know. This is Enzo. This is Lotus again. Do you just get mad when I say Enzo? This is Enzo. Oh my gosh. Today, we're gonna take a deep dive into what it means to bring a German Shepherd into your life. You puppin' ready? Let's go. But first, let's confront the hard truth. Shepherds are one of the highest surrendered breeds, and that truly breaks my heart. And it's crucial that we understand why that is before you make this life-changing decision. In this video, we're not just gonna cover the basics, we'll dive into the nitty-gritty, from the joyous tail wags to the challenging moments. Yeah, you're a bit of a challenge, we know. It's all about understanding what these incredible dogs need and deserve. I know, you deserve it all, huh? You deserve it all? I know. I need caffeine when dealing with you. Now, let's talk what really sets German Shepherds apart. Their temperament. These pups aren't just your average dogs. They're a bundle of loyalty, smarts, and energy. Really? Yawn? Really? That's your response when I say energy? Yawn? Come on, work with me here. I can't do all the heavy lifting. Can I get some support from the crew? From my actors? German Shepherds are extremely loyal to their family, right? Their loyalty isn't just about protection though. It's about forming deep, unbreakable bonds. They thrive on companionship, and they always have your back. Yeah, good, just like that. Finally, we're getting somewhere. Next is intelligence. Shepherds are extremely smart. Hey, do not steal your brother's toy. Here, you have one right here. Not only that, they're quick learners, which makes them fantastic for training. If you followed along, you know Enzo and Lotus are both trained off leash. A lot of stuff that especially Lotus learned, he learned just from watching Enzo do it. You know, Enzo learned how to, for example, come to heel, which is where when I'm walking and I say heel, they actually come and just get into the heel position. Like, we don't have to do it in steps. We don't have to say like come and sit and then heel. And like, it used to be like in the beginning, we would have all these steps. Lotus never learned all the steps. From the beginning, once he learned how to heel, come to heel was just natural to him. He just did what Enzo was doing. Didn't you? Didn't you? Unfortunately, because they are so intelligent, they can get bored. You get the boredoms? You get the boredoms? Not only is exercise important, but mental stimulation as a whole. Some of the most exhausting times that I've had with them, or like some of the times where I feel like they've gotten the most exhaustion, like they've just been completely pumped out, is after we've done games that involve a large deal of mental stimulation. Things like the find game, basically hide and seek. Come here. But then sometimes we'll do it with objects like treats and stuff. Like I've gotten a bunch of like boxes out. I've gotten like human-sized boxes and played it with them. They have to be able to find you. Otherwise, no, don't do that. And then there's the energy levels. Well, I really want to have like a Netflix and chill weekend with my pup. I mean, sure, as long as you go to the park first and they get a bunch of exercise. Oh, it's winter and it's cold or it's raining. Yeah, they don't care. Are you gonna show that through the whole puppet video? I just realized he's doing that and it's like, oh my gosh, I bet the audio, like I might have to refilm this whole thing. I wasn't even paying attention that he was doing that. You're just going to town, aren't you? Oh my gosh. German Shepherds, as the name might imply, are herding breeds. They are built for exercise and energy. They are full of it. They are not meant to stay inside all day, every day, which means they are not a great pup if you are somebody who works a full-time job or more and you're out of the house every day. That is not good for them. They need that energy, and if they don't have an outlet for that, they're going to get restless and potentially destructive, honestly. So not only is it just really bad mentally for them to be left alone all day, but they can actually end up hurting themselves and or your stuff or your house. It is very, very serious. So when you combine loyalty, intelligence, and energy, you get pups that are amazing companions. I mean, we've gone all over the country together and they are just like the best. However, it also means that they're really just not for everybody. And the best thing you can do is to be honest with yourself and recognize that, you know, hey, I may love the idea of a German Shepherd, but I'm just not in a place that I can have one right now. And that's okay. Like, honestly, I get people all the time that send me photos like, hey, here's my new Shepherd, and you know, I watched all your videos and all this stuff, and like, that's awesome. But I tell you, the messages that I really love is when people go, you know, hey, I really wanted a German Shepherd. I watched a bunch of your videos and I still love them, but I realized like it's not a good fit for me, right? At least right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. And to me, like, that just shows so much self-awareness and maturity that I just hope everybody would have when it comes to this breed. We got the tail wax. I don't know if you can see all the fur that's just flying from him wagging his tail right now. Now, if you're watching this at this point and you're thinking, you know what? No, I still think a Shepherd is a good idea for me, then that's great. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper into some of the other things that you need to know to be ready. If you can get a rescue, that would be amazing. Like I said, they're one of the highest surrendered breeds, and I would definitely, going forward, that would be the first place that I would start looking. Oh, hi. And not only that, but you know, like I said, because Shepherds are so intelligent and so easily trainable, even if you're thinking like, oh, well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. First of all, that's a misnomer. That's not true at all. Old dogs can learn just as easily as new dogs. New dogs? Puppies. So that's crap. That's just something old humans like to say when they want to be lazy and not learn how their phone works. Well, you know what? If you can't learn your own phone, guess you can't look at Facebook. Too bad, so sad. But as I was saying, not only do they cost money to get, assuming you get like a puppy or something from a breeder, but just the ongoing cost is not cheap. I don't know if you can tell, but Enzo here is a pretty big boy. And with a big boy comes big foods. Lots of foods. Lots and lots of foods. So, you know, on a breed that is larger, I mean, really any dog, for sure. 100% any dog. But especially on a larger one, you know, good high quality food and supplements are really important on a month where we don't have any unexpected vet bills or anything. I'm not sure if I've ever had that month, but theoretically, if that month exists, I'm still spending usually about $400 to $500 a month on both of them. Well, technically that's Rally included, but she's a 9-pound cat, so you do the math. She's not really a large percentage of that money's. That's their regular vet bills, like I pay for their health plans. That's their food. And so I don't even think that technically includes Enzo's injection that he gets for his Adequan. Not to mention when he, you know, is out in the backyard and I turn away for literally like 2 seconds and somehow he has a puncture wound on his chest that we still have no idea how that happened. Things like that, yeah, they add a significant amount of cost. So, I mean, you really need to be prepared for that. Oh, Bubba, you got a little scratch there? What is that? Yeah. It's healing. Well, I was going to talk about allergies and stuff in a minute, but let's bring it up now. I don't think you can really see. Kabasu! Thank you for being in character. I appreciate that. So, Shepherds do suffer from allergies. That's not an uncommon thing. Enzo's were getting bad enough that I got him in a shot, like an allergy shot for dogs. So, it is clearing up again. This is the 2nd year in a row I've gotten it. I should have got it sooner. That was my mistake. It was winter. I thought we were in the clear for a little while. I was wrong. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. In addition to food costs, you have things like grooming. Now, the good thing is Shepherds don't actually need like regular baths. What is that? I'm always finding things. Okay, maybe I imagined that one. Just like a little clump of fur or something. Anyways, you know, the good thing is they don't require like regular grooming. I get them professionally groomed anywhere from 2 to 3 times a year typically, but they do require other types of time and maintenance. You know, you're still gonna have to get their nails trimmed or grinded down. Brushing is the biggest one. I mean, you would think like, oh man, do you like not brush your pups? No, I do. I definitely do. They shed in real time. Now, I will say the one good thing is they don't shed all the time. They simply shed from March to February. The rest of the year, you're good. Now, that time period though is bad. I mean, really, like, I want to cry bad, but the other months, you're good. Just March to February. Otherwise, all been good. Yeah, that's the shedding season. Okay. We got skunky. Thank you. I'm good though. All right, as you can imagine, once you add up all the vet bills, the grooming, the park trips, the brushing time, it's a lot of cost. Not just money, but time and energy, honestly. You know, if you're one of those types that like, oh, it's the weekend, maybe it's winter or something, or it's a rainy day, I'm gonna just sleep in, stay in bed, maybe order some pizza, watch some Netflix. No, you're gonna get up at the crack of dawn, like you always do, and you're gonna take pups out in the crappy weather, and you're gonna freeze, and you're gonna get wet, and then you're gonna bring them in, and you're gonna wipe them all down, and then you're gonna feed them, and then you're gonna wait even longer because Lotus doesn't wanna eat that quickly because he's picky, and then after they've digested for an hour, you're gonna take them to the park, and you're gonna burn off all the ants, then you're gonna come back, you're gonna be exhausted, you're gonna be wet, you're gonna be tired, and at that point, you're just too tired, you don't even wanna eat anymore or watch TV, you just kinda wanna lay there and like pass out, and then you're woken up when they're like, hey, it's time to go out again. It's time to go do something again. We've regenerated. We're good. We want to do the whole process over again. And you think, gosh, I slept through a whole day? No, it's just the evening. And now we do the evening routine, which is basically like the earlier routine, except it's dark out. What happened? Oh, you're still here? Everything I've said so far hasn't scared you off? You're weird, because that would have scared me off. Thankfully, I was dumb and I didn't do any of this research ahead of time. I was the blind just walking into this like it wasn't gonna be a big deal and had the world turned upside down on me. I love them, I would change nothing, but I was willing to turn my world upside down to adapt to them. And I realized that not everybody is and or can. And that's why it's so important that you know all this ahead of time. That said, if you're still here and you think this is still for you, let's get into some of the darker stuff, and that is health. One of the biggest concerns, I kind of touched on already, is hip dysplasia. I mentioned Enzo gets his Adequan injections. He gets those about once a month to help with that. Hip dysplasia is a huge issue with shepherds. Enzo has shown signs of it since he was young. Did you chew too hard? I see a little bit of blood on the antler. Yeah, you know, I'm always so worried about that with them. I take so many precautions. That's why, like, when you see us getting out of the car, we use steps. When we go up and down stairs in the house, I'm always ahead of them because I want to make sure they don't jump and skip those last few steps. That's a lot of weight. And, you know, it's not like one time is a big deal, but doing it 2-3 times a day, every day for a year, like, that adds up. And it's super important. So I take a lot of precautions. In addition, like I mentioned, we do supplements, we do, you know, regular vet visits. I'm always keeping an eye on that sort of stuff, and it's also why I choose to do low impact exercise. That's why I definitely prefer hikes and just long walks over like short bursts. It can be so tempting to just play fetch and let them wear themselves out. And I'm not saying you can't play fetch occasionally, but that shouldn't be your primary source of exercise. Longer endurance exercise that's a low impact is so much healthier in the long term versus that short term stuff. Yeah, I'll get the hippies. Yeah, I've got the hippies. Yeah, well, thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah. It's also a reason that I monitor their weight. You know, Enzo says fluctuated, but for the last like year and a half, he's been right at 100 pounds. You know, there was a time there where he got closer to like 120 and stuff. You know, it's not his fault. You know, it was a combination of too much food and really just too much food, probably. I mean, most shepherds honestly regulate themselves pretty well. Enzo, it's not that he doesn't, he likes food. Lotus, he will regulate. Like, I almost have to like bribe him to eat sometimes, which is funny because when he was a pup, because he was the runt, he would freak out when I was getting food. I mean, it was ridiculous. He was so afraid he wasn't gonna get fed, and it was just, I don't know what happened to you in your first few weeks of life, pup, but I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. But now he's, you know, after being with me for years, like he understands like he's gonna get food and he's fine. I know in my heart that this one here, he does not stress about food ever. He is not worried about it. Despite that, he will steal food if he thinks he can get away with it. All right, we kind of touched on this earlier, but you know, in addition to hip issues, we also have allergy issues, which we kind of talked about. We also have things like stomach issues, super sensitive stomach. So like while I did make the comment like, oh, you know, I was probably giving him too much food, the one thing I know I wasn't doing is giving him too many treats. Like I do not give them a lot of treats, and I always feel bad because I take them everywhere and we're always places and drive-thrus and different things, and people are like, oh, you know, can I give them a treat? It's like, no, because I don't know what that is, and their stomachs are so sensitive, and it just sucks. Like, you know, I feel bad because they just want to like, they see a pup and they just want to give it a treat and make them happy. I also feel bad for my pets because they don't get to have these treats, but it really is for the best. If they get too many treats and stuff, it will mess up their stomach bad. And Enzo is even worse at this than Lotus. I mean, Lotus, it can be bad too, but I've had his stomach get messed up so bad to where I have to put him on like a zero-fat diet for weeks to get him to reset. So I take it really serious, and that's not fun for him, is the thing, you know? He's had a couple times where he's had accidents, and like, I know, I can see it in his eyes. He is so upset. Like, he is worried when I wake up. Like, normally when I get out of bed, he's all excited and wants to come up to me and everything. But I always know when these times have happened because he is so like kind of timid and stuff, and it just breaks my heart. I go up to him and I love on him, and I'm like, you know, it's okay, like make it very clear, like you did not do anything wrong. This is on me. I messed up, although you could wake me up. I feel it even worse because I thought I was sleeping through it. I was like, oh my gosh, he tried to wake me up and I slept through it. I set up a camera one time when I knew he was having stomach issues. He didn't try to wake me up once. Two-way street, just saying. But yeah, I still feel terrible. So what I ended up having to do is set an alarm for like every few hours. Not perfect, still have had a couple of accidents over the years, but he's really good about it. I will say, to his credit, you know, he will always go down to like the garage, even here that we're staying in the loft, like he will go down. So like when I knew he was having stomach issues, even though I had my alarm set and everything, I still made sure the gates were open and all the doors were open, that he could make it all the way to the garage, because I knew if he got up in the middle of the night and felt like that, he would end up going in the garage, and he did. I still feel terrible. I wish he would wake me up, but I mean, he's super smart, and he went down there and came back and laid down, and like I mean, I still had to clean it up. Wasn't great, but at least it was on concrete, so way easier. Where were we? Okay, now that we've gone through all these negative health issues and cost issues and time commitments and just the way they completely upend your life, if you're still like, no, I'm good, let's talk about what like a typical day looks like. So some of you who've been following along know my life has changed over the last couple of years, but one thing that hasn't changed is routine. I mean, the routine itself has changed at times, but we still find a routine and we stick with it. So, you know, for us, it typically involves around, you know, we have our first time out in the mornings. Like, I'm typically like an early riser, just depends. Like, I may get up before 6, but we don't go out before 6. So we typically go out the first time in the morning. We go out around 6. They go out, they potty, we come back in, we do a little paw wipe, then we have breakfast. They have breakfast, and then they need at least an hour to chill to let that digest, because not only do they have like digestive stomach issues, but they can also have what's known as stomach flip. We're not going to talk much about that, but it's a very, very serious health condition that I've done videos on. I'll probably do more on, but just know like they need to be calm before and especially after they eat, and drink even, and drinking water, while should always be available, it should be on the ground, not the lifted bowls. This isn't really the video for this, but I always want to throw that in there. I just want as many people in the world to know about that, because it will kill them within minutes. So once that's done, then we have, like on a day like today, I'm doing this video, but after we get done, we'll go do a park run. Since I am not working the quote unquote real job today, probably do like an hour plus long trip at the park. They'll get a bunch of exercise, then we'll come back. Actually, we'll probably have lunch first before that, and then we'll go to the park after they've digested. Then we'll come back, and then they'll be pretty wiped out at that point. We'll have dinner around 6, And again, we'll go out. We typically go out right before dinner because I don't want them going out afterwards. You just never know. Like you could go out, the neighbor pup could be out or something. Like I don't want them going running. So I'd much rather do that before, you know, if we go out before dinner and something happens and they end up running around and stuff, the worst case is we come back in, I just gotta let them cool off a little bit before I give them dinner versus the alternative. So we always go out ahead of time. It also is really good for Lotus because he gets a reminder that, hey, the world is not a scary place. You know, it's not raining, the birds are chirping, whatever. Like it just kind of reminds him because sometimes I think he forgets. So it's always good for him too. And then, you know, we'll go out again before bed. You know, we may go out different times and like when the weather permits, we'll spend more time out, you know, depending on the time of the year. If it's really cold, like last week, it was like single-digit temperatures. An hour-long park trip was out of the question. I mean, aside from me just being miserable, that's not necessarily good for them either. So we would do about 20 to 30 minutes. And then later in the day, we'd do another 20 to 30 minutes at least. So, I mean, we're still getting an hour plus outside doing things. And then we also try to mix in some internal stimulation, some mental games, things like that. Wow, Bubba, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is what happens when it's like negative 1 week and then a few days later, 55 degrees. This isn't even brushing. This is just my hand. Do you see what you're getting yourself into? Are you sure about this? What are you thinking? This is a bad decision. You need to rethink your life decisions. This is nothing. This is literally nothing. I did this with my hand. This is nothing. If this freaks you out, life's not gonna be good. Here, Enzo. I know. I know. Oh, it's so rough. Yeah. You got the vocals. Really? You feel better now? Would you knock it off? Come here. Oh my God. I really do love this thing. It's sad. They sent me this to do a review and then they never responded back. So like, I never posted it, but I really do like this thing. Makes it nice to brush them in the winter. Relax. I don't even have it anymore. Oh, you all brave until I got a brush. Then you so afraid. All right, let's talk about surrender rates. When you bring a pup into your house, any breed, they become part of your family. And much like family, they're crazy. Yeah, just like family, at least my family. I don't know about yours, but yeah. Anyways, so it is very heartbreaking to know that people just give up pups like they're, I don't know, a used car or something. But it is especially hard to know that this happens some of the highest surrender rates is shepherds, because shepherds are super pack oriented, very loyal to their family. So you can imagine, like, you know, it always shocks people when, you know, like for example, my parents are used to it now, but when I first got them and kind of bring them by the house, it would always shock them how all this free space to run, or like I would meet them at a park or something, like literally they're off leash. They could go anywhere they want, but they're near me. I mean, like, sure, they go run and explore and stuff, but they're always within eyesight of me and back to me. And that's what makes it so heartbreaking. Like, I cannot fathom giving them up. Like, I will live on the street. And if you think I'm joking, look into my eyes and you tell me, does it look like I'm joking? You're not getting this. This is the last thing you need. Gosh. I need this to keep up with you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know, you love Squirrely. I know, I know, I know. I'm supposed to go run some errands here in a bit. Do you care that I'm covered in fur? You don't care. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. All right, so I don't know how long this video has gone. Honestly, I kind of lost track of time. I'll try to keep it fairly short, but at the same time, I want this to be really comprehensive and frankly, above all, discourage you from getting a German Shepherd. They are amazing. I love them more than anything in this world, but they are a lot and you need to be ready for that. And it's okay if you're not. If there's anything you feel like I missed, you know, I tried to make this pretty comprehensive, but obviously you can't cover everything. So if there's anything super important that I missed that you feel should have been included or that you have questions about, leave it below. Or you can DM me on Instagram if you need a quicker response. But otherwise, I appreciate everybody who watches, who subscribes, who comments, who likes, and especially the Patreons who literally support us and our little family each and every month. I love you all. Later.